Younger Brian just got 1 million views on one of his videos. He was so happy that AdSense came in $1,000. He can finally go full time as a YouTuber. He worked so hard on this one, and the next one he worked even harder on. So if that one got 1 million views, surely this one will get 500k, right? The next one got 1,000 views in the first week. In fact, after that first 1 million view video, for 5 months, I basically got nothing. I would spend a month on a video, release it, get nothing, and repeated that over and over again. And with each video that didn't take off, my mental health got just a little bit worse. And this carried on for 6 months, and thankfully, in the middle of that 6 months, one of the videos took off. And it allowed me to carry on because I had some supplemental income from that. But the rest of the videos basically died immediately. But despite that, I didn't quit and I kept trying because I knew this is what I really wanted to do. And months after that, I did eventually find some consistent success. It's hard to see this struggle when you look at someone's channel, because if you look at all of those videos now, those videos have views now, but they didn't when I first released them, and it really affected my mental health. There's billions of people that want to be successful, that want to make a successful business and get rich and get everything that comes along with that. But only 1% of those people actually succeed and actually get somewhere with it. So why is that? I'm going to try not to be disrespectful, but 90% of the population basically just thinks about it, dreams about it, and doesn't do anything. They talk about it a lot. They love talking about it. But when it comes to actually taking action, nothing happens. And that's actually where 90% of people stay. They just think about it. They go to their job every day dreaming about a different life, and they don't even think to take action. The top 10% start taking the actions. They start filming content and posting it. They start trying to do outreach to companies. They start cold calling. They do the daily actions that eventually would lead them to success. But what happens is that after 2 months, they still haven't got anywhere with it. And all the negative thoughts start creeping in, the doubts, and eventually it reaches a point where the doubt outweighs the desire to succeed, and they quit. And usually the tipping point is about 2 months in. You'll see so many YouTube channels that post for 2 months and then nothing. So what's the secret? What do the 1% actually do that makes them successful? And I'm warning you, this sounds really simple, but it's actually not. And I'm going to explain to you why later in the video. The secret of the 1% is that they just pick something and start doing the actions daily. Then they get to the 2 month point and they don't quit. They just keep going and keep improving despite not seeing any results. And after some time, they start seeing results. They don't just post 5 videos, then stop for a month, then post 1, then stop for 6 months, then start again. They keep going consistently. And it's in that process that you find out whether you're actually part of the 99% or whether you're cut out to be the 1%. Most people think they're the 1% and they think they've got what it takes. But then they get stuck into the process, and a couple of months in, they start feeling pain, mental pain, the pain that every person that's successful eventually has to feel. They feel that pain and then they quit. Take me as an example. Recently, one of the videos on this channel did quite well. It's almost on 60,000 views now. But naturally, as they always do, the views are dropping. And if I said it didn't hurt my ego, I would be lying. Of course it hurts my ego. I'm used to 1 million view videos on my first channel. If I didn't enjoy this and I didn't do this because it's my purpose to make these videos, then I would be thinking about quitting right now. But first of all, views aren't equal, and 1,000 views on a video on a channel like this is more valuable than 100,000 views on an entertainment channel. And second of all, success is literally all a mind game. The entire world is designed to make you think that you can't be successful. Tons of people have tried and they failed. If you're young, your parents are going to tell you to take the traditional path, to go to university and get a high-paying job. And then there's you, on your own, in your room, trying to become successful with all of this bullshit trying to discourage you in the background. The first thing you must understand is your thoughts are your reality. If you constantly have positive thoughts about your work, you're not even going to think about it. You're just going to wake up and do the things that are necessary, and you're going to do them with so much more enthusiasm than if you were miserable about it. And if you have a really negative attitude towards your work, you're going to wake up, you might sleep in, and even if you do get the work done, you're going to get it done to a much lower quality, and you're going to work so much slower. And if you're not careful, if you let that negative thought into your head and you let it compound, before you know it, you've had a bad day. And then if you let that bad day get to you, you've had a bad week. And then if you have enough bad weeks in a row, you're going to quit. So to control these thoughts and stop them right at the start, we need to do something. And that thing is affirmations. You need to spend some time journaling all the negative thoughts that you currently have, because there will be some that are stopping you from doing what you need to do. To make your affirmations, just write a few paragraphs down. And in those paragraphs, write all of those negative beliefs into situations that are flipped. So if you think you can't get any clients, write down that you get loads of clients. It's just going to be a general picture of what you want your life to become. But the work isn't done yet because you still don't believe that you're that person. Start reading them regularly, every morning, but multiple times a day if you can. And if you start getting a negative thought and it starts spiraling, just go back and read them. Don't give that negative thought any energy. And the opposite is true for positive thoughts. If you get a positive thought about your business, hang on to it. And you'll find that the more you focus on the positive, the more positives you'll find in the world. And the more you focus on the negative, the more negatives you'll find in the world. And this next one is dangerous because if you do it, you are almost guaranteed to become part of that 1% that succeed. Don't give yourself another option. When I was first trying to make it on YouTube, I was about 4 months in, and that was my worst mental health period because I had been going and grinding every day and making a video every 4 days for 4 months straight, and I still hadn't gained a single subscriber. And that is when my mental health was at its worst because I was halfway through the university year and I knew that if I didn't get something done by the end, I would have to go back to my 9 to 5. And at some point in that process, when I was down bad, I remember getting an email, and that was my previous 9 to 5 job offering me a position guaranteed, no questions asked, if I accept it within a month. And I'm not gonna lie, man, I was tempted because there was still a weak part to my brain. I knew that if I didn't accept this, I would have to keep grinding away and feeling this turmoil in my head, this negativity. But also 4 months ago, back when I first started the channel, I knew that I would never work a 9 to 5 ever again. And I'd convinced myself 4 months in of that so much that there was literally no other option in my head. So I didn't respond to the email, and after a month, I declined the offer. Now think about it. In that moment, going through all that difficulty, all of that doubt in my head, if I accepted that job, what would my life have looked like now? Look at this background. I would have been on a train in London right now. I would have probably still been fat, still been depressed, and still been addicted to games. I did all of that because of how bad my mental health was back when I was working an office job. But thankfully, there was 2 sides of my brain and the good side won. I was ready to stack shelves in a shop, a job that I thought I was above because I was told that I could earn 40, 50k a year from my degree when I graduated. I was ready to give all of that up and face criticism from my entire family and all of my friends just so that I could keep trying to make it. Thankfully, I burned all of my bridges because I realized that if I went with the easy path, I would be depressed. And if I didn't succeed, I would still be depressed. So the only way to me being happy is to succeed eventually. And if you give everything up, burn all other bridges, don't give yourself another option, and keep going, keep improving, keep doing that one task that's bringing you all the results, you will eventually get there. But you need to give it your entire soul. There can't even be 1% of you that's still hanging on to an alternative path. You need to align all of your thoughts to the outcome that you want, because the reason other people don't make it, they still hang on to those other options that are comfortable. And that makes them half-assed because they know that they're safe, that if it doesn't work out, they can just go do the other thing. And eventually, because of that, they eventually quit. It's like the universe knows that they don't want it enough, so it doesn't give it to them. And then, long after they've already accepted that they're going to live an average life, they still know that they're not fulfilled. They still know that they want to achieve more. They go to YouTube, they go to Reddit, they go to Instagram comments of successful people, and they complain, they hate. They talk down on people like you because they're not willing to make the necessary sacrifices. But you are, and that's why you're here. Business is really scary, especially in the beginning. And ironically, the beginning is actually the hardest part of succeeding in business. That's when you have the most doubt, the most uncertainty. That's when your identity mentality is still that of someone that isn't a successful entrepreneur when you have to make the biggest changes in your life. It's like starting a game and being level 1 and having to kill a level 50 mob before you get to unlock the rest of the game and start playing normally. You just have to chip away at that level 50 mob for months, and when it swings at you, when it tries to kill you with all those negative thoughts and all that doubt, you just have to dodge the attack and keep chipping away at it. And once you defeat that high level mob as a level 1 entrepreneur, that's when you make your first ever dollar. And all of a sudden, your beliefs completely flip because now you know it's possible. And then not too long after you make your first dollar, you're going to start making your first 1,000, and all of a sudden, all of your time will be yours again. You're going to be able to move to Thailand, get food for like a fifth of the price, and live the good life. It's literally 30 degrees and sunny here every single day. It doesn't change. It's not like gloomy, cloudy England. If you're new here, I'm Brian, and this isn't a YouTube channel. We are a group of people who have had enough of an ordinary life and want something more out of it, and we're all becoming successful together. So if you resonate with this message, subscribe to the channel, join us, and I will see you in the next one, bro.